Hey guys, Joel from Joel Reviews here to review Star Wars Prequel Trilogy. Yippee! Now, the reason I'm doing this is because Episode 8 is coming out in a few days, and so I'm going to review this trilogy, the original trilogy, then Episode 7 with Rogue One. The reason I'm doing this is to split it up because I tried to do one by one and my videos were too long. So if I'm going to make a long video, do it of 3 movies and I think it'll flow a lot better. So, Episode 1, let's start off. Starts off like any other Star Wars movie. John Williams score and text that read Dread Federation. Okay, stuff nobody cares about. How's the movie? Well, I'll give you some good and I will give you some bad. I'm not one of those that really hates this movie. I'm not one of those that really loves this movie. It's an in-between movie. I mean, if it's in the background, I don't mind watching it. But just to fully intently watch it, I can't do that. It's not that great of a movie. But I have to watch 2 scenes if it's on. And that's one, the pod race scene. It's fantastic. I mean, even though the camera goes left to right. Watch the movie, you'll understand what I mean. Watch the camera, it goes left to right. Pans left to right. But John Williams' theme is awesome during this scene. Just like this entire movie, John Williams made a fantastic Star Wars theme and encompassed Episode 1 with fantastic music. And that pod race is one of those dun 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 that has great John Williams music. And if you have a great sound system, you hear vroom, poof. I mean, you hear every little detail. It is fantastic. So if you're going to see this scene, you have to have great speakers because the bass will pump you and the sound is just fluid and pitch perfect. Like every little minute detail is there. It's great. And the last scene that's amazing is the duel between Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Darth Maul. It is fantastic. Just the whole idea of John Williams' music, again, brilliant man, who made Duel of Fates for this lightsaber theme. Dun dun, dun dun, dun dun dun. Music to my ears, it's wonderful. And the lightsaber duel, it's like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon have this connection where they psych out Darth Maul. That is pretty cool. And the whole idea of Jedi versus a Sith and 2 of them against 1, and the Sith is able to defeat 1, it's pretty epic. This is before, I think, the lightsaber duels got too choreographed. Like, this had more realism, like the original trilogy, plus a little of the new trilogy with the choreograph. It was fantastic. There wasn't too much CGI. It wasn't too overbloated. It didn't have Yoda jumping around like a little teddy bear. And it didn't have stupid lines. It felt like a Star Wars lightsaber duel should have been. And it was great. Now, some of the bad. Midichlorian blood. Why did you ruin the Force, George Lucas? Why? It should have been surrounded in mystery. That's all it needed. And the rest of the movie is kind of just meh. But I give it a 4 out of 10 stars because it is at least watchable. And those 2 scenes, the pod race and that last lightsaber duel, is fantastic just to see it. Now, let's get to the real stinker, the real meat of this video. Okay, we haven't got to the real meat. This is the in-between meat and a really stinky pile of meat. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This movie is miserable to watch. Everything about it just... I can't watch it. How the clones became to be... It doesn't make much sense at all. You can't really get into it because it doesn't make sense. Why would Qui-Gon Jinn request an army? That doesn't make sense. Why would Master Jedi Yoda use a lightsaber? He says during the original trilogy, it's not about that. It is about the Force. Why didn't he defeat Count Dooku with the Force? He's more powerful. Why in the world was that lightsaber duel at the very end of the movie boring? It's a lightsaber duel. And the whole love scene between Padme and Anakin. Here's a line. I don't like Sam. It's irritating. What? Okay, those lines are not good at all. That movie is unwatchable. It's a 2 out of 10. Don't go and see episode 2. It's not important. It's not vital to the story. 1 and 2, you can skip those films and start with episode 3. Now, the opening crawl, again, is boring, absolute garbage. But it starts out like Star Wars. Ships going vroom, vroom. And seeing that on a sound system is amazing. Just that beginning scene with the ships, it's cool. Episode 3 is when George Lucas did some things right, but he still made a lot of mistakes. The movie is still decent, a little bit better, but not by much. It's better than episode 2. But a lot of movies are better than episode 2. And it's easier to watch than episode 1. But a lot of mistakes were made. The very beginning feels like a Star Wars movie. And I think John Williams, this is a masterpiece in sound. The music is beautiful. Not as good as 1 because I love Duel of Fates. But it is definitely one of the best soundtracks he's ever done. And with John Williams, that's saying a lot because he's made a lot of awesome soundtracks. This movie starts out great. Then it leads into the middle half where nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. Obi-Wan goes on an adventure. That way he doesn't know that Anakin Skywalker turns to the dark side. Anakin turns to the dark side, turns into the great, magnificent Darth Vader because of something stupid that happens on screen. Why? Why would you make that turn make no sense? Literally no sense unless you watch the Clone Wars TV series. It doesn't make sense to any Star Wars fan. I want to see how he developed from a Jedi to a Sith instead of Jedi Sith. Nothing in between to make you know he's turning to the dark side. Yes, he did a couple things in episode 2. Yes, he kills Count Dooku at the beginning of the movie. But the turn is like, there's no in-between filler to help you understand why he turned into Darth Vader. That is what killed this movie. And when he turns into Darth Vader, when he puts on that suit for the first time, you hear, no. That stupid no scene that makes a lot of good memes. That kills this movie. That makes it from a great movie to it's an okay movie. Now let's talk about that lightsaber duel. It's incredible. And finally, they don't choreograph the entire thing. The beginning is brilliant. It's brilliant. But even George Lucas messes up here. It goes on and on and on and on. And then you see Yoda. And on and on. And Darth Sidious fighting each other. And on and on. And even the lightsaber battle gets boring. It's overdone and then gets into choreograph, green screen, everything, and ruins the experience. And this scene right here does not make sense to me. When they're both on those little droids, Obi-Wan jumps off, lands on higher ground than Anakin Skywalker. He looks down at Anakin and goes, Anakin, I have the high ground. You can't defeat me. And Anakin's like, I will destroy you. And the reason this scene doesn't make sense when Anakin jumps over and Obi-Wan goes and cuts off his limbs. Why this scene doesn't make sense is because if you watch episode 1, where Darth Maul, all he had to do was drop his lightsaber, boom, killed Obi-Wan, or use Force Push and killed Obi-Wan, or something simple like that. He's on the low ground, he Force pushes up, I think, jumps over Darth Maul and cuts him in two. So you don't need the high ground to win. So that's why that scene does not make sense. But anyway, it went on too long and it got boring. But at least we got to see Darth Vader burn up and his skin melting off to finally get the suit. The other things that don't make sense about this movie is Luke goes to his uncle and aunt. That makes sense. Princess Leia, on the other hand, cannot remember her mother at all. So episode 6, continuity messed up because she's a baby when Padme dies. You can't remember your mother. Just saying. There's a couple messed up parts. Episode 3, it's watchable. A bit more watchable than episode 1, but I'd rather watch a good lightsaber duel in the pod race over episode 3, to be completely honest. But I have to rate episode 3 a little bit higher, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. But in what I believe, I can watch episode 1 for the pod race and Duel of Fates and be happy. Episode 3, I get kind of bored just watching the lightsaber duel. So it's hit and miss which one you want to watch. So guys, the prequel trilogy, not really all that great. I cannot wait to talk about the original Star Wars trilogy. I'll have that video out in a couple days. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe. See you guys in a couple days.